A short while later, Miss Lit sent an update about the Amadeus.
Kurisu remembered Kent Korihisa the moment I showed her the video you received. She said she'd met a guy with the same face. Back in 2012, he showed up at the Brain Science Institute where she worked. He pretended to be a researcher from some lab.
2012 was about when Kent Korihisa vanished from the Vatican.
Apparently, he told them he heard about Amadeus and asked to be a part of the project. Kurisu could tell Kent was talented, so she considered him a promising candidate. But
it didn't work out?
right. About a month after that, there was an incident after which he simply stopped coming to the lab.
An incident?
The Amadeus server was hacked into by an unidentified party. Even now, after more than 20 years, nobody knows who the hacker was.
Hacker, huh? All signs point to Kent, if you ask me.
There's a non-zero chance that the hacker stole data regarding the Amadeus system. A man like Kent could probably have used the data to build an Amadeus system of his own.
As he turned himself into an AI with Amadeus so he could get away from the Holy Office. And after that, he put himself into cold sleep. With all that in mind, the one behind the quests had to be the Amadeus version of Kent Korihisa from the get-go.
Did Kurisu say anything else about him?
Well, she said Kent looked like he was in constant fear. He was so conscious of people's gazes that it seemed pathological. When she first met him, she thought he was plenty suspicious. Oh, she was really mad about the Amadeus system's security breach too. From what I understand, the Amadeus system's been copied, stolen, and abused by various parties over the years. I understand how she feels, but I don't get why she had to vent so hard at me. I've never messed with her system. If she met Kent Korihisa now, she'd probably tear him a new one. She's got 25 years of pent-up anger to unload on the guy. Kurisu's one scary lady when she gets like that. She's absolutely relentless.
I had no idea Kurisu Makise had that side to her. I'd better keep my distance.
Both Ronan and Davide have fallen?
After hearing about what happened to the two deliberators, Felino Arcana fell to her knees. Where she stood, she moved as if overcome with grief.
Lord, I pray you forgive my transgressions. The error in judgment is mine alone.
She held her hands in prayer as if to repent, and whispered as she gazed through the emptiness.
Kent and Lucia, they were once our Lord's servants. They were ones we believed to be of his blessing. In spite of that, the two now plot to rebel against fate. I believed that to protect the Fate Line, we were to judge the two of them in the name of our Lord. But I see now that they were mere distractions, and never the true deceivers. It was Polon Takaoka, that loathsome snake that has thwarted our mission at every turn. If he is among the contactees, then he will no doubt constitute the greatest threat to the proponents of the end. Thus, there is but one thing to be done.
Felino reached to her side, taking in hand some paper documents, a rarity in this day and age. On the 5th page was a photo of a certain person.
To reel in the ordained fate, we will make certain the Lord's wrath be poured from his vial onto this land.
We have breaking news. In 2029, an international agreement banned the development of quantum computer-based Earth simulator systems. But today, Yomikai Online News has revealed that the government and the Ministry of Defense have been developing such a simulator in secret.
They also added that the key member of its development is a boy only 14 years of age.
We also know that this boy is the one who hacked the Earth simulator last year while it was still deactivated. Multiple politicians have since questioned the ethics of the simulator, and even voiced concerns for the security of state secrets.
We are currently investigating the situation to confirm the veracity of the claims, so I would prefer not to comment on it. They may answer to me, but the Ministry of Defense employs 300 people, and it is impossible for me to know what each of them is doing. Again, we are trying to confirm this.
A crowd has gathered in front of the Prime Minister's residence to protest the top-secret development of the Earth simulator.
Earth simulators are more terrifying than nuclear weapons. If the government's making one in secret, I can't help thinking they want to wage war on the entire world.
The government broke the international agreement and developed a simulator behind closed doors. That's not right.
Wake up and smell the coffee. Every major country's doing the same thing. It wouldn't be virtuous of Japan to play along with the agreement. It'd be foolish.
Those are some serious accusations. Do you have any proof that the other countries are making simulators too?
Neither the US nor China is commenting on any of this. Their silence is proof enough.
You're forgetting the main problem. They were having a 14-year-old boy develop an Earth simulator capable of invading the privacy of everyone on the planet. And on top of that, he was virtually incarcerated at the facility where...
Oz was in his office, watching the news projected onto the wall. Tonight, every news program and social media site was filled with talk of the Gaia Institution. The Earth simulator Gaia and Azuma Soga himself. A certain news organization had blown the lid off all of them. They'd refrained from revealing Azuma's name, but he was quickly doxed, and his full name spread all over the internet. Oz was irritated, but not because he was worried about the government or the Gaia Institution. His concern was a far more pressing one.
Oz, Kaoru's here. Wow. You're actually watching news on the screen again. Just use BMI.
Shut up.
Kaoru entered the office. There was obvious fatigue on his face.
I must apologize. I'm late. Go to bed, Nonno.
Huh? But I don't wanna... No, San Marino.
Then just go to your room.
You meanie.
Oz watched Nono leave, then walked over to Kaoru.
You seen the news? Don't answer that, I can tell by looking at you.
Yes, I'm aware of what's happening.
Then tell me, what the hell's happening? All this mania has come from info that we gathered. It's not just a big deal on social media sites. Mainstream media is using the scoop as a way to bash the government. Was Kaburagi the one who leaked it all? This ain't the right way to go about.
Kaburagi was murdered.
What?
He was missing for a few days, but I just received a report that his body was found at the Yokohama dock early this morning.
What?
It'll probably be reported tomorrow morning.
Kaburagi was a passionate and just man. Oz had met him through Kaoru, and they'd spoken enough for Oz to know what Kaburagi was like. It was hard to believe that that was how he'd met his end.
The murderer hasn't been caught yet, but it's safe to assume that they were behind the leak.
What do you think they're planning here?
I don't know, but...
But?
The public hasn't been reacting well to the news. At all. Honestly, I'm surprised the reaction's been so intense. At any rate, the government's desperately trying to de-escalate the situation. The SFG is currently guarding the Gaia Institution, but it's likely that they will receive new orders soon.
Wait. You're gonna cut off the brat?
Kaoru nodded.
I can't believe the information we found is being used like this. And with Kaburagi gone, there's nobody who can stop this now.
The two fell silent. Images of the news continued playing across the wall. They showed the mass media and the public attacking the government hysterically.
Damn, it's cold.
In the end, we barely made it in time. A week had passed since Cicada Kent Kurihisa sent me his request. We hadn't been able to do anything, cause we didn't know where Asuma Soga's mom was. Asuma had hidden every single trace of information on Miyori Soga. Nakano Symphonies worked on it every day, but even with Wind, Oz and the CCO helping, it took a whole week of sleuthing to get anywhere. The answer was right under our noses. We'd confirmed that she was being held somewhere inside the Guy institution, and that was only an hour ago. It was late, but I jumped on my grapper and came all the way from here. I could see Uminomori, home of the Guy institution. We had to get inside and make sure that Asuma's mom was still alive. Our best bet was to find Asuma and ask him to help us find his mom, but we couldn't be sure he'd actually cooperate. This mission might turn out tougher than any quest.
Rosario, did you find anything about the Holy Office's next move?
Rosario had mentioned that they were probably involved. I had a feeling they'd get in our way too. Those guys never knew when to quit.
I was able to confirm that they were controlling the media. It's common for them to use news outlets to further their agendas.
People were talking about Guy and Gaia all over the mainstream, and social media. So this was all the Holy Officers doing.
I guess we gotta hurry.
I'll let you know as soon as I learn more.
Be safe, Rosario.
I will. You take care of yourselves too.
Mom and I were going to be infiltrating Guy. Rosario was handling something else alone.
Polan, are you seriously planning to just waltz in there? You've barely prepped.
We don't have much time. We're gonna have to take a risk.
I did have a plan though. I'd already called in the backup we needed.
We have no other options.
But
this won't be our first stop on a tight schedule. I can make it work.
this isn't like those other times. You should avoid taking on both the army and the Holy Office at the same time. Don't be rash.
You didn't have to tell me that. I knew this was insanely risky.
Bro, it's not like we can get an appointment at this time, right?
Guy's official number wasn't even connected this late. When I'd called, an AI had politely told me to try again later.
Going through the front door would be too much of a grand entrance. The area in front's full of reporters and protesters.
Even the army was stationed here, but if I tried to explain things, they'd never buy the story. Hell, they'd just end up more suspicious of us. January 8th was a little over 2 hours away. We didn't know the exact time Miyori Soga would die, so for all I knew, it was the exact moment the date changed.
But that doesn't mean we can wuss out. We may be up against the army, but now we can even the playing field. We might even have the upper hand.
And that's why you called me, I assume.
Without so much as a sound, Juno appeared in front of me.
You're here. I've been waiting.
I said I'd be involved, but I don't recall agreeing to be your maid.
Juno closed her umbrella and glared at me.
Who do you think you are? Do you want to die with me?
Hey, you showed up right when I asked, so...
I would have come whether you called or not. I've been riding that Ferris wheel since you contacted me. It was about to finish its 4th revolution.
She'd been waiting around. I messaged her a whole hour ago. Suddenly she grabbed me and Momo by the hand.
Huh?
Let's begin.
Well, hold on, I gotta explain what's going on.
Cadenza. Improvised.
Yeah!
Since yesterday, I've been quite the hot topic on news, shows, and social media.
A witch hunt. In 2038.
I was impressed that they managed to kick up such a fuss over such vague information. Or perhaps it's the vagueness of the information that led to it blowing up the way it has.
You're still working?
This man was my assistant, one of the few I allowed to enter Gaia's control room.
You should get some rest.
Don't tell me what to do. Get out.
You should avoid the internet for the time being.
You're the one who told me to familiarize myself with the nature of this scandal.
In hindsight, that was a mistake.
I don't care about any of it. It doesn't affect me. Just get out.
Yuan left in silence. He really liked getting in the way of my work. Even this late in the day, he persisted. Who did he think he was? My handler? The media and the public alike were simply saying whatever made them sound righteous. It was all virtue signaling, drama for the sake of drama. None of it meant anything to me.
I read online that the boy lost his father to suicide. No doubt he has issues as a result. If you ask me, he should be taken to the experts and provided with the appropriate mental health care.
Hear what they're saying? Asuma Sogo's old man offed himself, 'cause they found out he embezzled company funds and fired him.
LMAO, that's so lame. Ha 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 ha.
What's the kid's mom up to anyway? Pretty weird there's no info about her, am I right? Want to hear my guess? I think I'm on the right track. She's out having a good time with other guys. I mean, her 14-year-old son's locked up and being forced to work for a government agency, but does she give a shit? No way! She could be some government worker's side hoe. Bet she's riding some dude right now while her kid's getting canceled. Oh man, everyone in this story is a piece of shit. The entire Soga family is garbage. Especially the mom. That bitch is going straight to hell.
If I could stop myself, I'd thrown my mug at the floor. The warm milk inside spilled out.
You're the piece of shit!
All these people were online. I could find out where they lived in minutes. How would they like it if I clapped back and doxed them?
An intruder?
The sound was an alarm that triggered when unauthorized persons... when unauthorized persons the premises.
What is Graham doing?
I pulled up all the building security feeds.
Where are they?
I couldn't see them anywhere. I cycled through the cameras, but I couldn't find the intruders anywhere.
In that case...
I isolated the location where the sensors were tripped, then checked the nearest cameras nearby. I rewound the recording. Everything seemed normal for a while. There was a split second of people. 2 of the 3 were people I'd seen several times this past month. Polo and Takaoka and Lucia. I watched them for a moment. Rather than walking out of frame, the 3 just disappeared where they were standing. Had this footage been doctored? No. Forgery would be more convincing. There were no signs someone had tampered with the recording either. I looked for other security feeds that showed them. I found one right away. The previous camera and this one were nowhere near each other. They were about 200 meters apart. It was a direct path between them, but still. Somehow, they'd moved between these points in under a second. And not just once or twice either. They were moving like this over and over. It didn't look like they were going to some specific place. It was like their jumping was completely random. It was almost like they were teleporting. What were they after? Gaia? Whatever it was, I didn't want them wandering around the facility doing as they pleased. They were pissing me off. But I couldn't use Gaia to predict their actions either. For starters, Lucia didn't even exist inside the Earth simulator. And then there was Polo and Takaoka. Every now and again, this guy did some weird stuff that messed with my projections. It happened during the hunt for Lucia in Nakano, and whenever he showed up since, the guy's predictions were thrown into disarray. The two of them were a real pain, but what could I do about them? Following my intuition, I pulled up the details of the places where they'd appeared. This facility housed a quantum computer, so it was designed to identify and analyze any quantum fluctuations that might hinder the QCDC. I checked the data and found numbers way higher than usual.
So that's what it is. That means I can predict where they'll go next.
I had the guy QCDC analyze the data, then left the control room. As I walked, I contacted Graham.
We have some intruders.
I know, but I'm unable to pinpoint the location. We're searching for them now.
What are you people paid for? I'll send you their location later, so do your job.
They were so useless. Still, quantum teleportation them.
That's quite fascinating. What would I do?
A thought piqued my curiosity. I opened up Gaia and ran a simple experiment. Not a recreation of reality or anything, but a simulation that showed how things would look like with unrealistic parameters. I tried creating a means of connecting 2 points in space-time that were unimaginably distant from each other, a wormhole basically. Then I ran a simulation. This method felt like cheating, given how utterly divorced from reality it was. Following the simulation, the spaces surrounding the wormholes began rapidly collapsing. They were too unstable to maintain the wormhole. It was no wonder, of course, I'd basically warped space-time. But perhaps I could further stabilize the wormhole by adjusting some other parameters. This was a game I played with Gaia from time to time. I fiddled for a little while before the analysis was complete. The guy QCDC was as reliable as ever.
Found you. We can't find it at all. What's going on here?
I never expected them to have so many fake Gaias.
This was a top secret facility, but somehow Oz had gotten his hands on a basic map for us. It showed that the facility wasn't just within the Gaia Institution campus, but it stretched beneath Uminomori Park as well. We had an idea where Gaia could be, so we got Juno to take us there. But it turned out there was a load of places Gaia could be. We'd already jumped 3 times, and each place was a dummy room designed to look like it could house Gaia. They were all full of SFG soldiers too. If we hadn't called on Juno to get us in, we'd have been caught immediately.
They're very wary of intruders here.
Gaia could predict the future with insane accuracy, so it was way worse than any weapon known to man. All the security measures were probably to keep it safe in the event of terrorist attacks and stuff. But thanks to those measures, we hadn't come across Gaia yet, and we needed to find Gaia to get to Azuma.
You're useless.
And you should stop taking a break after every jump. The longer we hang around, the more I feel like the army's suddenly gonna catch us.
You thought I could jump around an infinite number of times? Of course I can't. If I could do that, there'd be no risk of you taking Kent away from me.
I wasn't even trying to steal Kent, damn it.
Do you need to rest?
Just who do you think you are? Do you have a few screws loose or something? I'm not answering to a dumb little girl like you.
I'm sorry.
Hey, that was uncalled for.
Stop acting like we're friends. You should be thankful that I'm helping you at all.
Well, she didn't deny that she needed a break. Was it something to do with the satellite system she used?
We're going. Give me the coordinates.
Cross, send them over.
Sharing now.
Right now, we had no choice but to check every possible place.
Let's go.
In just a moment, and in total silence, the surroundings changed. It made me feel nausea-like VR sickness. My brain couldn't keep up. Momo put her hand on her head. She didn't look too good.
Just as I predicted.
I spun around to where the voice was coming from and saw Asuma. He was waiting for us.
Look at that. He came to you instead. That saves you some time. Anyway, good luck.
That Soon began walking away, clearly ready to leave.
You're running away?
I believe I mentioned that I'm no mate of yours, did I not? I will be killing you sometime down the line. And if you fail to meet Kent's expectations, I'll kill you even sooner.
So, I'd be dead either way? Does this psycho think of anyone but herself? Yeah. Bruder. I didn't even feel like going after her anymore. Even if I did, she'd just escape on her own. Asuma didn't spare her a second glance either. He was glaring at us. We had nowhere to run. At least, we'd managed to meet him though. That was a plus. It meant we'd cleared the first stage.
Tell me what you want, intruders.
We're not your enemy.
Odd to hear that from someone who just broke into this facility.
Let us explain. Asuma Soga, your mother's life is in danger.
What?
We didn't know if it was gonna be an accident or if someone was coming to kill her. But if his mom died, Asuma himself would somehow become the church's calamity. And this calamity would bring ruin to the world as it hurtled towards its end. We explained that to him as briefly as possible.
Well, that's worrying. Is that what you thought I'd say? I'm surprised you believe all that occult nonsense. Ever heard of facts? Logic? Speaking such nonsense is tantamount to wasting my time. I have no reason to believe you. If anything, you're the ones I should be most skeptical of.
Shit. He wasn't buying it at all.
We need to save the world. Cicada 3301. Kent Korihisa is doing whatever he can to ensure that happens. He told us to protect your mother. At the very least, please let us keep watch over you until tomorrow.
No.
The danger is real. You have to work with us here. Please.
FYI, my mother's completely safe. I don't need your help with that. Get out.
Asuma!
Did I say you could address me by name?
Hey, this is bad.
Oz, I'm kinda busy right now.
Listen, the Ministry of Defense made their move. The Minister himself issued an order to the SFG.
An order? To do what?
Seize the Guy Institution. That place is about to turn into a battlefield, kid.
Asuma, where are you now?
What is it?
The army's acting strange. They're arresting all the employees on duty. I have no idea why.
What is Graham doing?
I can't reach him.
Where are you strolling about now?
I'm in front of Gaia. Get yourself back here. No. There's soldiers here too.
Hey, don't let them touch Gaia!
I know. But how did they get in? Why are they here? Something's not right.
Show me the situation there.
I checked the vision he shared with me. Ewan was right. The control room was full of soldiers who wouldn't normally have access.
Halt! Keep your hands off that console! Who ordered you? Do you understand the consequences?
The soldiers then pointed their guns at the camera at Ewan.
What are you?
Hey, did I say you could end the call? Say something. Ewan! Ewan! What's going on?
I checked the control room's camera. The feed displayed instantly. The real-time footage showed...
Huh?
What? What the hell? Who said you could die? I never once told you to die.
You didn't even hesitate to kill that spy.
You ordered me to do it.
So you just obeyed me? Are you a dog? If so much as a single person in that room reports you, your life is basically over. Aren't you afraid?
My job is to make sure that you can do your job comfortably. Honestly, I'm jealous of your talents. That's the reason I decided to respect your judgment. Nobody else's opinions matter to me. For you, I'll gladly take the fall. Tell me, what is it that you want?
Gaia belongs to me.
Very well. If that's what you need, then use me as you will. I will obey your every command.
The SFG was given an order to seize this place. You're not safe here anymore, Asuma. You and your mom are both in danger.
So they were planning to cut me off, were they?
That pisses me off. This is pissing me off!
But for as angry as I was, I would never allow anyone else to dictate what I did and did not do. Never.
We finished separating the Guy QCDC from the network. 50 seconds behind schedule.
Rhino Leader here. Copy that.
Upon hearing that, Graham let out a sigh. Graham's group had been granted special administrative rights over the Guy QCDC and Gaia. These rights once belonged to Asuma, but he was stripped of them the moment the mission started. If they could also put the Guy QCDC into a standalone state, they could separate Asuma from Gaia. This was one step further toward a successful operation.
All units report.
This is Alpha 1. We're blocking off all entrances. No one has left the area since the operation commenced.
Bravo 1, we're clearing the Gaia control room. Target A is nowhere in sight.
Charlie 1 to Rhino Leader. His private room's clear too. We can't locate Target A.
He's not where he should be? I guess he saw this coming.
Since Graham had started working with the Gaia Institution, Asuma never willingly went anywhere but those two places. This was unexpected. The operation was already going wrong.
Alpha, keep the entrances blocked. Bravo, Charlie, expand the search radius. Narashino, did you find Target B's location?
No.
If they found Target B, Asuma's mother, they could use her as a bargaining chip to neutralize him. But not even the supervisors, the government, and the MOD knew where she was. They weren't expecting to find her during the operation, so she was deemed a secondary target.
Captain, are you sure we should shoot the boy?
It was rare for the adjutant to use Captain instead of the call sign. This was actually the first time he had ever questioned the operation while it was underway. The question reminded Graham of the moment he was ordered to conduct this operation.
Major Kingley, 13 minutes ago, I received a maximum priority mission for the SFG.
It was a sudden order straight from the commander responsible for overseeing the units in Osaka. Based in around Narashino and the institution, Graham's squad was almost entirely autonomous. It was rare for the commander to contact them.
Here are your orders. The government, the MOD, and the Central Readiness Force HQ have noticed that Asuma Soga is trying to appropriate the Guy QCDC and Gaia. They consider his actions tantamount to an act of treason against the state. Secure Asuma Soga immediately. Additionally, whether he is dead or alive is not relevant. I repeat, secure Asuma Soga immediately. Whether he is dead or alive is not relevant. That is all.
All Our job is to carry out our orders.
That was the answer Graham managed to wring from himself.
Roger that.
The adjutant had more to say, but he chose to remain quiet and end the call.
Looks like the government elites are trying to pin all the blame on a single kid.
His words were laced with bitterness. He knew full well that his feelings were at odds with what he just said to the adjutant. Azuma was a cocky child who saw soldiers as pawns beneath him, and Graham didn't like him as a person either. But despite all that, Azuma was still a 14-year-old boy. Nobody could maintain their composure after being told to kill a child. But even so, soldiers had to follow orders, didn't they?
They've isolated the guy QCDC. No doubt Graham's quite pleased with himself. But I anticipated this. I won't let them go unopposed.
Azuma had been turning that cube device in his hands for some time now. Was that how he input commands? Isolated, so it was separated from the internet? This meant that he would need to establish a wide connection if he wanted to use the guy QCDC or Gaia. It didn't look like he was panicking, though.
Did you set up a secret backdoor or something?
Of course I did.
So you really did secretly take over?
Azuma had found a hiding place in a nearby inspection corridor as soon as the army rode in. It was like he knew they were coming. That move would probably buy us some time. But the army was thorough. There was no telling how long we'd be safe. Still, Azuma looked pretty calm. How was he so sure nobody was gonna find us?
Pattern 52901, is it?
What are you looking at?
Why should I dignify that with a response?
Huh? Maybe I don't want a response.
Then be quiet.
Sheesh, fine. Sorry. Pattern 52 blah 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 is it?
Are you making fun of me?
You're the one who said it out loud. You really want to come off as cool and explain it to us, don't you?
You're so annoying.
Right back at ya.
Shh. Have you two forgotten where we are? Especially you, Polon. Getting worked up won't help us.
Huh? What, me?
No fair.
We don't have to be completely silent. They won't find us. At least not for another 10 minutes.
So he was actually predicting the future, huh?
What did you mean when you mentioned that pattern?
Again, why the hell do I have to tell you that?
I mean, we'd know whether you told us or not. You're using Gaia to predict the army's movements. And you've made at least 50,000 predictions. You keep saying Gaia's awesome, but it can't predict stuff perfectly the first time round, huh?
However advanced Gaia may be, it can never be 100% accurate. Even if its accuracy was 99.9%, that remaining 0.1% would still allow for infinite variations. You should keep your ignorance to yourself.
He looked at me like I was beneath him, then exhaled loudly.
Why the hell are you here anyway? Go away. You're a nuisance.
Don't be like that, dude. It's not like I can just go for a stroll. If you really want us out of your hair, then how about give us the real-time feeds from all the cameras in the facility? That'll help us get past the army.
No way you're getting those.
We just want to protect your
She doesn't need your protection. Don't make me repeat myself. The Cradle has top-class security. The army doesn't even know where it is. There's nothing about my mother on the internet either. I had it erased.
The Cradle? So that's where your mom is.
Yeah. I had the guy QCDC manage it.
So he scrubbed online info to hide her whereabouts, huh? That explained why we couldn't find much about her.
Get it? The world's most powerful quantum computer is responsible for her security. And this security cannot be bypassed with a single step of verification. It even updates itself every 9 seconds. To get past it, you'd need to start by developing a quantum computer superior to the guy QCDC.
So Asuma was basically saying that even if someone found the cradle, they wouldn't be able to get in.
I'm also closely monitoring it at all times. I'm the only one who can get past the security. Not even Mother herself can bypass it. Finding her is impossible.
It was like his mom was imprisoned, totally isolated from the outside world. I could only think of one reason Asuma would hide her like this.
So you knew what would happen to her, huh?
I wasn't certain. Like I said, Gaia's predictions aren't perfect. There are multiple Earth simulators all over the world. There are too many irregularities, too. Like Cicada and you. But you wouldn't need Gaia to predict that the government would someday attempt to snuff me out. Burdened with secrets and a guilty conscience, anyone is capable of betrayal, without a second thought.
I'm impressed. It's hard to believe you're younger than me.
Well, you are an imbecile.
What?
This bow-tie boy really thought he was hot shit. Yeah, he was clever, and I could see why people called him a genius. But at no point during his explanation did I sense a shred of consideration for what his mom wanted. That kinda stood out to me.
So when's your end of the world supposed to happen anyway?
January 19th, 3:14 and 7 seconds UTC.
That's just the year 2038 problem. Does that mean this world's also? Well, I had a hunch.
Hey, what does the world look like in Gaia after the 19th?
If it used Gaia for so many simulations, he must have simulated the days past the time of the end.
It simulates the world as normal. There's not a single simulation that shows the world ending then. Maybe it'll happen because you two will mess something up.
Why would you think that?
Well, neither of your existences makes any sense. One of you is a woman that's seemingly incarnated into being at random. And the other's a man with an abnormally low sync rate.
Huh? Sync rate? What's that?
The number that measures the consistency between a person's actions in Gaia simulations and their actions in reality. Normally, it ranges from 95 to 99%. That's how accurate Gaia's predictions are. But when you act differently because you've seen an Earth simulator's predictions, the sync rate drops significantly.
That reminded me of Kent Kurihisa. He saw the fate line, after all.
But even then, it never falls below 80%. Despite that, You're fine most of the time, but sometimes your sync rate drops to absurdly low levels. About 20%. A sync rate that low is never usually displayed. It defies reason.
What do you mean by sometimes?
Like when you're doing your hacking quests. Your rate usually drops 2 or 3 times during those.
Quests, huh? My guess was that the drops lined up with when I saved and loaded.
And then there's you.
Asuma glared at Momo.
You don't even exist in the world.
I don't exist?
No matter how many times I simulate the present moment in Gaia, you simply don't appear. You're not there.
Was he serious?
I see. I don't really understand myself why I incarnated like this, but I still have a will of my own, and I wish to act upon it.
Momo. Nice. That was what I expected from one of us. For all we knew, she might have been a literal messenger sent by God.
You piss me off because you mess with my Gaia. Whenever you two were involved, nothing goes as predicted.
That's just life, isn't it?
You really piss me off. You can see the future too, can't you? Don't think I don't realize that!
Seeing the future, huh? In a way, yeah. You could say that's what saving and loading was about.
That's why I don't trust you. I trust my Gaia and my Gaia alone!
Asuma left the tunnel about 10 minutes later.
What are you gonna do now?
I'm going to Gaia's control room. I won't let them touch Gaia ever again. I'll fight back and chase them out. They'll regret this betrayal.
You're gonna fight the army?
Asuma wasn't even paying attention to his surroundings as he walked. I couldn't let him go in alone.
Hey, they'll find you.
As if.
He was really confident, but he was stressing me out too. told myself to calm down. Asuma knew what the army was going to do, so he probably had his reasons for marching off. I stayed close to him and waited to see what happened. The institution was like a labyrinth. It wasn't even on the map Oz had sent. Even the hallway we were in was a zigzagging mess. Just moving forward was a hassle. It felt like we might run into the army at any moment. That would massively suck, but Asuma just kept walking forward. Eventually, we came to a crossroad. We heard the sound of multiple footsteps coming from the right turn.
Gonna run into the army if we keep going this way.
Shut up!
I can't, man.
He looked so indifferent that I couldn't help grabbing his shoulder to stop him.
Let go of me! The timing must be perfect, and you're not helping!
Timing?
Asuma began fiddling with his cube input device. The soldier's footsteps were getting louder.
Asuma, we gotta run!
No, I finished the prep.
That sound.
It's gunfire.
And there were a lot of guns too. It didn't look like we'd been spotted though.
What did you do?
Saying nothing, Asuma continued walking forward. Hallway came to a T-junction before long, and Asuma stopped in front of it. 10 seconds of silence passed. I heard more gunfire and screams coming from our left. Asuma checked the area, then turned in the direction of the gunfire. We came across two soldiers.
Are they dead?
They were lying in pools of blood. There was no mistaking it, they were dead.
Did you kill them? How? Did you make the security system attack them?
The security system isn't even armed. This is a state-run company, you know. The ones at the top don't want to be blamed for any mishaps, so they don't install anything lethal.
But then that gunfire...
I'm just using AR projections.
AR?
And I'm using a projection of myself. I had to be careful at first. The manner and timing of my projection had to be perfect. Some SFG soldiers are more skilled than others. That's why I targeted the soldier who was the least experienced and most anxious. I had my projection appear right in front of him. The odds of him panicking and pulling the trigger were 99.4%. Who do you think died when that imbecile shot him?
It's AR, so nobody should have died.
No. I projected the AR over another soldier's body, concealing them entirely. Of course, since the soldiers are bigger than me, I had to include a projection of the background as well. And since I used the Guy QCDC to control it in real time.
Any soldier Asuma projected himself onto would disappear completely. It would look like Asuma was the only one there.
The soldiers weren't acting as a unit, so I waited for two of them to encounter each other alone, then projected myself onto both.
So you made them shoot each other without knowing it?
Once the first shot was fired, even the most elite soldier would panic. Not even Graham would keep his cool in that scenario. I knew that the probability of pattern 52901 was high. I've simulated it countless times. It's all right here in my head. I know exactly what they're going to do, down to every last gesture. The only factor I cannot account for is the presence of you two. So don't do a thing. Just sit still.
He really was a genius, but I could tell that this kid was messed up too. What kind of person would simulate themselves getting betrayed by the government and murdered by the army, then fully memorize it? Most of his simulations must have ended with him messing up and getting shot. I'd never seen an Earth simulator myself, but I heard they were pretty realistic. Could a kid his age really stay sane after seeing himself getting killed over and over in that much detail?
If you can predict the future this well... No, forget I said anything.
What? I should be able to neutralize them without killing? Why would I do that? They double-crossed me, so they pay the price.
Asuma kept going deeper and deeper into the facility without encountering a single soldier. Area Z, where Gaia was located, really was like a maze. But even now, instead of taking the straight path, Asuma was using a detour to avoid the soldiers. He was turning corners, doubling back, switching to longer routes, and sometimes stopping in place for an entire minute. He passed by multiple fake Gaia locations. He went up some stairs, then down others. He used elevators built to travel between 2 floors. In the end, I had no idea where we were. There was distant gunfire and soldiers' screams echoed. We did come across some bodies, but nobody still breathing. Azuma's actions were calculated precisely, and as he walked on, he tinkered almost mechanically with the device in his hand. More and more soldiers died, but he didn't seem to mind.
You don't mess up, do you?
I know the correct solution from the get-go. There's no way I can mess up. I even know when the army's going to commence its retreat. I just need to stay the course.
But you yourself said that an Earth simulator's predictions can never be perfect in a world with multiple Earth simulators.
And? What of it?
It was the Vatican's Earth simulator that predicted you would become a calamity.
It's a given that the Holy Office 513 will be involved. They're incredibly persistent. It's possible their agents have already infiltrated this facility.
Just like we did. You tried capturing Momo and Nakano before, didn't ya? The Holy Office were behind that too. Don't act like you didn't know.
Almost none of the agents have seen the fate line, the predicted outcome, but the one in charge has certainly seen it.
That means Gaia's predictions could be wrong. Don't put too much faith in them.
They twist the present to get the future they want. And I don't know anyone willing to go to the lengths they do. Not even you, Asuma.
That's why you should stop messing with the army and put your mother first. Something bad's gonna happen if you don't.
And even if he'd chased the army out of the facility, it would still be over. He was completely cornered here. Even if he managed to take control of the Gaia institution, what would he do with it? He was still just a 14-year-old kid. He wouldn't be able to keep up his winning streak for long if he was up against the state itself.
We'll help you, so let's protect her together. I'm sure your mom would love the company of her son, too. Being with you would sure beat being locked up all alone.
That was when Asuma glared at me again.
Don't you order me around.
I'd never seen such intense defiance in his eyes.
Don't you dare talk about my family! You don't know a thing! You don't!
Suddenly he fell silent. Then he turned pale and quickly began working his device.
What? Why? Why is this?
What? What was he seeing on his BMI?
What happened?
This is impossible. This couldn't have.
Tell me what's happening.
Asuma! The security. Someone turned off the cradle's security.
No!
The impossible had happened. That's when the date changed. Chills ran up my spine as I felt the certainty of the calamity approaching. Uh-oh.
Why? Why? I can't see. I can't see what's happening in there. The cameras aren't working. All 7 of them are dead. The recording. Maybe the camera saw someone before that.
Asuma mumbled as he spun his device faster than ever. My eyes couldn't keep up with the speed of it. To look at his hands, you'd think he was totally calm. His inputs were as controlled as you'd expect from a boy genius, but then his hands slipped and the device fell to the floor. Momo picked it up and gave it to him.
There you are!
Asuma had only been standing still for a few minutes, but it was enough time for soldiers to find us. I didn't know which was more impressive, Asuma's illusion or the army's tracking. Despite the chaos, Asuma had fallen into a daze. He wasn't even trying to move.
We gotta run!
Momo took Asuma's hand and ran. I followed close behind. We ran all over the place trying to lose them before somehow finding a place to hide. But we couldn't stay here. Now that they had a rough idea where we were, they'd start closing in on us. It was only a matter of time before they found us.
Let me go!
Asuma shook off Momo's hand. He went right back to tinkering with his device.
Why can't I restore the security? Why isn't it accepting my commands?
His hand stopped and he glared at us.
It was you two, wasn't it? You did something, didn't you?
Shh! Keep quiet!
The army could probably hear us, damn it.
That's the only explanation. Shit! I told you too much! Shit!
Please calm down.
Momo grabbed Asuma by his shoulders and looked into his eyes.
You have to calm down. You can't panic. Not now.
Shut up!
Asuma pushed her away.
You?
Hold on. It's okay.
Yeah, I had to chill out myself too.
I need to do something. Anything.
Asuma went back inside his shell. He was trying to deal with the situation through his device, even though he just said it was ignoring his commands.
Were you really the only one who could turn off the security? Is there nobody else who could have done it?
The army had temporarily revoked his administrative rights, but he'd taken them back earlier. It couldn't have been them again.
There was one other person, but they killed him. But no one else. No one! No one else even has administrative access to the Guy QCDC, let alone the wherewithal to actually control it!
In that case, it's gotta be one of the Holy Office agents. I mean, they have their own QCDC. Either that, or they used some sacrament that let them get past the security.
Perhaps. Rosario, do you know anything about this? Rosario?
There was no response. She was supposed to be snooping on the Holy Office by herself.
It's no good. I can't reach her.
Had something happened to her? They had a bad feeling about this. It was pretty clear that whatever was happening, we hadn't seen it coming.
Cross, what's the army up to?
I'd asked him to intercept the army's comms.
They were panicking before, but they're getting it together now. They'll find you in no time. Doesn't seem like they're aware that the Cradle's security's off, though. They still don't know where his mother is.
If the army didn't know anything, the Holy Office had to be the ones messing with the Cradle. That meant that they were probably behind the security outage too.
If that's true, then now's our chance.
We wanted to make our move before the army, deal with both of them and the Holy Office at the same time. Hell no.
Asuma, I'll go to the Cradle. Tell me where it is.
You! It really was you, wasn't it? You're the one who turned off the security! You're going to kill her, aren't you? I was right! I won't let you! I won't let that!
Calm down! If you go, the army will follow. You'll just end up giving away your mother's location.
We didn't know how Asuma's mother was going to die. It wasn't just the Holy Office we had to look out for. The army could be the real threat. We had to keep everyone away from her.
If you keep the army busy, I'll be able to move around unrestricted.
The army only cared about Asuma. They wouldn't pay attention to what I was doing.
I'll take your mom and run.
So you want Asuma to be a distraction?
Yeah.
Momo had helped with this kind of plan before, so she knew what I was getting at right away.
Let me help you, Asuma.
What if the army finds you?
They'll just kill me, I guess.
Then...
But you know, I can predict the future, too. Oh, and I didn't give you the details before, but my thing is different from your future predictions. My thing involves saving and loading. By loading, I can come back in time to whenever I save. Sounds insane, right? Trust me, I know, but it works. I proved that to you in Nakano, remember? I got away. That's why I can save your mom and get away with her, too.
Anons with bright futures, who can't sit idly by when someone's in need. That's what Nakano Symphonies is all about.
Exactly.
Damn it!
Asuma sent me something.
That's where the cradle is.
That deep, huh? A whole bunch of doors kept it sealed away. It was basically a fortress. But now that its security was off, anyone could just waltz in there.
This doesn't mean that I trust you. Our interests just happen to coincide. You'd better keep her safe. I'll make you pay if anything happens to her.
Yeah, you can count on me.
My eyes met Momo's.
Momo, stay with him.
Asuma was panicking. I didn't want to leave him alone.
I will. Be careful, Polon.
You too, Momo. Don't do anything crazy.
I ran through the hallway marked on the map.
Here!
After parting ways with Polon, I held Asuma's hand as we sprinted desperately around the facility.
Now go up the stairs. No, wait. Bad idea. To the right then. Shit, there's too many of them.
Cross was relaying directions so we could make our way around without running into any soldiers. But we couldn't avoid them forever. Maybe it was because we'd been spotted once already, but no matter where we went, I could sense soldiers nearby.
Can you contact Juno?
Polon's calling her, but she's ghosting him.
Damn it. As soon as I lock it up, someone unlocks it again. Who's doing this?
Asuma shook off my hand and went back to inputting commands on his cube device. It looked like he was trying to turn the security on again. But he was so focused that he wasn't paying any attention to our situation. That's why I had to take his hand and manually lead him away from any danger. The confident facade he'd displayed when he found us here had vanished completely.
Asuma, leave your mother to Polon and worry about yourself.
I grabbed his arm and tried to lead him, but then
Don't order me around.
he shook me off again.
Asuma, wait!
Shit, Momo, turn around. There's...
Target sighted!
Oh no. We ran into two soldiers. They pointed their guns at us the moment they saw us. I pushed Asuma to the ground. Bullets flew overhead. I crawled behind some cover, dragging Asuma with me. They opened fire without hesitation. They didn't even warn us. They wanted us dead, but it was no wonder. Asuma was responsible for the deaths of countless soldiers. I'd wanted to save everyone, but even in the face of the end, people's hatred raged on. I couldn't stand it. It hurt so much that I wanted to scream. Was the world truly going to follow the fate line? Was this it? Bullets ricocheted off the walls around us. We were pinned down.
Momo, this is bad. More of them are on the way. All I can do is tell you where they are. Get Asuma to use the security system. And that should buy you some time.
Okay. Asuma?
I looked over at him to see blood flowing from his forehead. Had one of the bullets actually hit him? After separating from Asuma and Momo, I rushed towards Asuma's mom, Miori Soga. I had to be careful the army didn't spot me. They ruled out the fastest route, and man, did that suck.
Don't worry, there's no one near you.
Nice.
After checking if it was safe, I kept on moving. Cross was busy helping Momo, so Nono was acting as my backup instead. I'd called Osa and Kaoru too.
What happened with Asuma's family anyway? You two know, don't you?
Knew that Asuma himself would never open up, so I hadn't even asked him. These two had been investigating Guy and Asuma for a while now, though, so I guess they knew something. And my guess was right now.
Asuma's
right on.
Yukihira Soga committed suicide 3 years ago. It destroyed the entire family.
People had dug up that piece of info and it had blown up online. Apparently, he'd killed himself because he was exposed for embezzlement.
Even when he was little, Asuma displayed amazing talent when it came to computer engineering and programming. People called him a prodigy. Everyone praised him, and his parents were proud of him.
If you stopped there, they'd sound like a happy family.
But his father, Yukihira Soga, was a totally unremarkable man.
Unremarkable? A criminal guilty of embezzlement?
Well, he's not unremarkable in that regard, but it seems he considered himself a mediocre individual, especially compared to his son. He tried to live up to his son's expectations. He tried to keep up with him. He tried to be a father who was worthy of his son's genius, but he couldn't do it.
He ended up taking money from the company he worked at.
How are those events related at all?
Could have been his pride as a father. Maybe he just wanted to show off to his son. Only the man himself knew the truth.
What kind of person would steal to prop up his pride? Hell, resorting to that stuff should have made him feel even more pathetic. Man, what was it with dads and acting like total dipshits?
The company immediately found out what he was doing. They not only fired him, but took him to court too. He was truly disgraced by the end of it all. By that point, he had nothing left to lose. It wasn't long before he was committing domestic violence against his wife and son.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yukihiro Soga probably figured that was the only other way he could feel superior to his son. A reprehensible mindset, of course.
Not even that situation lasted, though. He committed suicide before long. Asuma was the one who found the body. He was 11 at the time.
That explained why he didn't trust anyone, and why he was so fixated on his mom too. It made sense when you considered his past.
With the deadbeat dad and the domestic violence gone, you'd think the two of them would finally be able to relax, right?
Hinweis drauf, was... Ja. Hier.
But Asuma's life only deteriorated further.
Huh?
Not that it made any sense, but... Miori Soga blamed Asuma for her husband's death. She took it all out on the kid.
Back then, I felt neither shock nor sadness. I thought the pain would end and that mother would stop crying.
It's all your fault! Yukihiro would still be alive if it wasn't for you! We were happy together. Why did you have to crawl out of me? Why couldn't you have died? I loved him. Give me back my husband. Give it back!
What about me, Mother? Don't you love me?
You're nothing to me.
She fell into a coma after she overdosed on sleeping pills. It's a miracle she's even alive. She somehow managed to regain consciousness after 3 months, but she's neither of sound mind nor responsive in any meaningful way. There may be a means of restoring her to the way she was, though for the time being, recovery seems unlikely.
Mother,
It's okay. Asuma, come here. Come to me. I'm sorry. I won't let you go again. I'm sorry.
Mother...
Asuma, keep it together, please! Can you see me? Asuma!
I woke up, but it wasn't Mother that I saw. The one holding me in her arms and keeping me safe was Lucia. That disappointing sight. And then I felt myself start to panic again. Mother was in danger and I was wasting time here. My vision was tinged with red. My hair was wet and it felt gross. I touched it, coating my fingers in blood. My head was spinning. Everything was so loud. Couldn't they just keep quiet?
What are you?
I will obey your every command.
Asuma,
What is it, Father?
why are you just looking at me? Why aren't you helping me?
I can't.
Why aren't you helping me?
Shut up.
This is your fault!
It's all your fault! I loved him. Give me back my husband. Give it back!
Shut up. Stop it.
Criminal.
Degenerate.
Just kill the little shit. Rope him in public.
Neck yourself.
Die.
fucking die.
Shut up, 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 shut up! Just shut up!
Suddenly, everything went silent.
What?
The next thing I knew, I was standing in the hallway covered in blood. I glanced around. Countless pieces of meat were scattered across the floor. They'd probably been soldiers until a few moments ago. The woman remained, but she was staring at me in shock. Who killed these people? It didn't matter. It was quiet now, and that was enough.
I'm still hoping that Mother will recover, so we can live together. That's what I want. It's not like it'll ever happen. Yeah, I know that. She'll never forgive me. I considered using Gaia to look into her future, but I was too scared to see. I even used some impossible parameters to generate an impossible present. A present in which our whole family was together and happy. It had only made me feel empty. But for a moment, just for a moment, I felt like I was going to be okay. That was why I generated it so many times. There was nothing wrong with that, right? Please, don't take anything else away from me. Please.
His mom's in a coma and won't wake up?
Nächstes Mal dann hier weiter.